A tanker hits an iceberg, sending thousands of barrels of oil onto the surface of the ocean. What's the relationship between the number of gallons of oil lost, which we'll call X, and the diameter, which we'll call Y, of the oil spill? What will we use in this activity to model this situation? So, in reality, we're talking about gallons of oil. For this particular situation, we're going to use a Cheerio. So Cheerios. There's an I. Where is it? After the R. Cheerios. Diameter of spill in feet. In reality, what are we going to use to model that situation? We're going to use centimeters. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a Cheerio, like this one, and where'd my ruler go? Oh, here it is. Measure the diameter. Be as specific as you can. So we don't want to just put 1 on this because you can clearly see that it's bigger than 1 centimeter. We probably want to put like 1.1. Okay? So 1 gallon is 1.1 centimeters across. Okay? Now, the thing about it is when we're measuring this, think about what happens to oil when it's in water. If I put a drop of oil in water, it pretty much stays in a circle, doesn't it? Okay, so what I want to do when I add my Cheerios, I want them to be in a circle. As circle-ish as I can get with Cheerios. It's kind of like an oval, and you can make it kind of round. It just won't be round all the way around because you can't make a round thing with round objects, right? So get it kind of circular like this, and then measure again. So I want to say like 3.8. So 3.8 is the diameter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now let me caution you. This time we added some Cheerios and then counted them. I would recommend that you count them as you add them to make a circle, because otherwise that's going to be a mess. Okay? It'll be hard to like count all of them as they're sitting there in the circle. Okay? So keep adding rings of Cheerios to stay a circle until you fill all the table in. After you do that, you can use your calculator to create a scatter plot. You can transfer that scatter plot onto this, or you can just make a scatter plot here. Okay, you don't have to use your calculator. Some people have just found that convenient, and some people use it like a security blanket, so they like to have it there so they know for sure that it's right, even though you're doing exactly the same thing on the paper. Okay, after you find that, you've got to find the A value. You have to find the constant, because we know if we had 0 gallons of oil, it would be 0 feet across, or 0 centimeters across, so we know it goes through the origin. So you've got to use your knowledge of square root functions to figure out what A is. You know A is a multiplier that's going to cause a vertical stretch or compression. So figure out where all of your points are. Use that to figure out what your A value is. Okay, if you're if you're doing it in the calculator, this is where a calculator comes in handy, because you can actually put that equation in and see if it fits the data. Okay, after you do that, after you get your A value, make sure you write it in number 1, because that's what it's asking. It's asking for the rule, and then tell how you found it. Make sure that's in a complete sentence. Using your function rule, the one you found in number 1, find D of 1,000 and find D of 1,000,000. If you're finding D of 1,000, remember it used to be D of X, so you want to plug in 1,000 where X is in your new equation, and then do the same thing again with 1,000,000. So you'll have 2 separate answers. Interpret the results in the context of the problem. Okay. Again, I want complete sentences on that. Think about what 1,000. If I put 1,000 in for X, think about what that means, and think about what the Y value would mean when you get your Y value. Okay. And then number 3, using your function rule, determine the number of gallons of oil required to create a spill that is 1 mile wide. Now, they gave you a hint. I think that was nice. I think it was unnecessary, but I think it was nice, because we are talking about feet, as is labeled in our problem right up here. So we do need to make sure that we enter not just 1 mile, but 5,280 feet. That is our distance across, so that's actually going to go in for the D of X. That's the distance, so it's going to be 5,280 feet equals whatever our equation is that we got right here. Okay, our a value times the square root of x. So to solve that, and make sure you understand what that means. Okay, any questions?
No.
Peace.